It's time to get free and then to get busy, Aries. Hi, welcome to Zero's Journey. I'm Madeline. Here on Zero's Journey, we use a compass of courage, curiosity, compassion, and creativity to navigate toward the life we really want. And your North Star this month, Aries, in your reading, very appropriate, the Sovereign. And as soon as I pulled this card, Spirit started talking about the fact that, as you know, Aries, we're in Scorpio season. And you being in Aries, whether it is sun, rising, or moon, you are naturally attuned to the seasons and cycles. All of your planets, when the sun is in Scorpio, the sun is in your 8th house, the Scorpio house, which is the house of intimacy, passion, the depths, the unseen, the sexual, the powerful, all of the sort of the taboo house. What are your taboos, Aries? That's what Spirit wants you to ask yourself this month. And how can you go about consciously, compassionately, creatively breaking those taboos? There is something to compost in your life, and it may have to do with how much space you allow yourself to take up, how loud you allow your voice to be. The Sovereign is the monarch, is the self-sufficient one. You can actually see your Aries ram's horns are here in the card. This is you. The Sovereign has a no bullshit attitude about themselves and about everybody else. Is there something that you want to compost? Is there something that you want to shed this month? You have the opportunity to do it very deliberately. And when we do something deliberately, we loosen up a lot of energy versus having it stripped away from us. You know what I'm saying? Where we have like a tower moment, for example, because we've been hesitant to shed a certain skin, to let go of, the clothes that we've outgrown. Why are we trying to like push ourselves into something that just doesn't fit anymore? Let's not. Let's be sovereign. Let's own up. That's what Spirit is actually using the phrase own it. Own it. And that means if there is a shadowy desire or a shadowy need, own that shit too. Yes, I do want all the attention, or yes, I do want all the money, or whatever. If it's a taboo for you, you are being asked to break it. You're being asked to look at it and to say, like, why is it taboo? Is that for real, or is that me hiding from myself, hiding from the opportunity or the future or the relationship? Spirit is saying all these things. They're general readings, of course, Aries. But am I letting that get in the way of what I want? Let's look. Let's talk about it, Aries. That is your North Star for this month. Wherever you go, whatever you do, if you move toward sovereignty, you're moving in the right direction. Becoming more of yourself, you are moving in the right direction. And now, let's get into the, wow. Let's get into the story of your month, Aries. First card up, we will just go ahead and set your significator right there. I love that because what did I say? Sovereignty, the monarch, the queen of swords. So coming through as a king or queen or knight or page has nothing to do with like sex and gender, and everything to do with personality type. So a man can come up as a queen, a woman can come up as a king, non-binary folks can show up either way. All of that is valid. Showing up as the Queen of Swords says there's Spirit is saying there's a truth that you're crafting. Like, are you writing something? Have you been thinking about creating a podcast or a channel, or in some way sharing, even a social media account, sharing your words, sharing your thoughts, your perspective? Your creation wants to see the sun. That's how Spirit is putting it. That is very poetic. Okay, Spirit. All right. What else do you want to show us for Aries this month, Spirit? Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries rising in November. What do they need to know for their highest good? What do they need to know for their highest good, Spirit? Aries sun, Aries moon, Aries rising. What's the story for them? What kind of energy is showing up around them? What kind of conflicts? What kind of benefits, pitfalls, potential, Spirit? We want to know it all for our highest good, the highest good of Aries, so we can have the most joyful, peaceful, loving, abundant month possible, Spirit. And the most fun. Let's not leave out the fun. Aries. Perfect. All right, let's go. November for Aries. Wow. what do you want to compost this month? Gee, it's Scorpio season. The Queen of Swords crossed by the Death card. Death card, nothing to be afraid of. Death card is natural, right? Everything dies, things pass in cycles. It's perfectly right for them to do so. And, you know, the sun's reign dies every day. And then the stars and the moon come out. And that's not a negative thing. That's a beautiful, natural thing. It allows for new things to come. Wow. Your work wants to see the sun. Wow. Okay. There's a little voice inside you, Scorpio. And it's a hopeful voice. It's a sweet voice. It's an innocent voice. The star is the foundation of your reading. Hope springs eternal, but we do have to walk to find the spring. And that's what Spirit is saying. So it feels like you are on a journey this month. Some of you physical, literal journeys, traveling places, meeting up with people. I'm feeling a lot of networking opportunities. I'm feeling school for some of you. There's a lot of opportunity to grow this month, and I feel like you have a wonderful support system. Let's just come right over here. This is a pretty gorgeous reading, Aries. I mean, it definitely it definitely rhymes with what they were saying about sovereignty. It feels like you are coming to some new conclusions about yourself, some revelations about yourself. Specifically, it feels like about the way that you work, the way that you invest your time, your money, your energy, and like what output you get versus how much input you give. Feels like you're learning a lot around that. So here's your support system. Beautiful card. Where you find yourself. Four of Wands. Loving relationship, partnership. You're surrounded by family, whether that is biological family, whether that is chosen family. You are surrounded by love, surrounded by community. And for those of you who may feel like, no, I'm not surrounded by family or community, chosen or otherwise, this would be the time to find some of your people. This is a month for networking opportunities. Eight of Wands. Submit applications, submit resumes, submit letters of interest. Tune into digital or online groups if you are not in a position to be getting together with any people IRL. That's totally legitimate. Find people who are on the path that you are on. Spirit is saying, well, I'll just show you. They're saying stand on the shoulders of those that have come before you. So you don't need to reinvent the wheel, okay? The Hierophant, sitting above your reading, crowning your reading. What are the rules? How do rules work in your life, Aries? And different people, different reaction to the word rules. I would say, generally speaking, Aries, when they hear rules, it's like, well, what are these fucking rules? Like, I don't really like rules. I prefer to do things my way, which is Aries, right? You're the first sign. And that's your birthright. You're here to show the rest of us, right? The rest of the signs how to do it. You got there first. What are the rules in your life, and do they benefit you? I can see why anybody would chafe against rules if they are not serving you. Could you create rules and containers and organization that supports the work that you're trying to do? Spirit is saying it like this. Like, even if we're creating a garden, we may think that everything wants to grow wild, but not everything does. Some things love to be contained with time, rules, commitment. And Spirit is definitely talking loud about commitment for you this month. Matter of fact, between this Judgment card and that Four of Wands card, some of you may be even entering very important commitments like marriages or creative or business partnerships this month. It looks like a good time for it. As long as it feels like something you are excited and jazzed to enter into. Because like I said, it does feel like there is some major stuff that wants to be composted. And of course, again, these are general readings, Aries. It's going to be different for different people. But Spirit is pairing, again, that Death card with the Hierophant for me and saying, what are your rules? And do you still subscribe to them? Like, there are some rules that some Aries are playing by that are like, oh, my parents bequeathed this bullshit to me. I don't actually subscribe to the idea that I need to be this type of person or make this amount of money or whatever to be worthy or to be good or to be loved or to be etc., right? Which rules are you subscribing to? And I would ask that you do it very consciously. And if you recognize that you are unconsciously subscribing to a rule or to a tradition or to a belief system, let's get conscious about it. I won't even say let's change it. Spirit is saying something else now between the Hierophant and the Judgment card, right? Let's throw the Star card in there and say this is going to be quite a spiritual month. You know, as they say, the veil is thin. Revelations want to come through, and again, it is in support of your growth. There are some rules there, you know, again, if I'm talking about that garden, and there are some places in your life where these things need to be repotted. Like, hey, you know, if you're growing something and it's a seedling and it starts out in like a little tiny pot, like this big around, in time, it's going to fill the entire pot and it needs to move to a bigger container. You know what I mean? Or else it will literally, like, it will die. It will choke itself out looking for new space. It doesn't have enough space, needs more room. There are other types of plants that if you put them in a big old pot thinking, okay, now you've got plenty of space to grow, they actually grow kind of spindly because they're like pushing their roots out as far as they can go and their branches are kind of like, instead of flush and lush and, you know, full, right? What in your life needs smaller or larger containers? This is a good conversation to have with yourself. Does my relationship feel too tight? Does it feel too loose? Does my work schedule feel too tight, too loose? Does my self-care schedule, does it even exist? You know what I'm saying? It's reset. That's what Spirit is saying, is this is a good month for a reset. Queen of Swords, Death card. The Queen of Swords and the Death card have some things in common. The Queen of Swords has been through more than one death in her life, as we all have, right? Like ego deaths and deaths of previous relationships and previous iterations of ourselves. Oh my God, if I, you know, open up my high school photo, like pictures of me in high school, it's like, right? Like all of us have places we've been and people we've been that are dead and gone, and we're better for it, right? Like, so this isn't a scary thing. This is a beautiful thing. This is an opportunity. Frankly, Spirit wants you to have more money and to spend more time on the projects that you care about. So when I say projects, that doesn't have to be strictly money-making stuff. That can be, the Eight of Pentacles is like, this is your skills. This is like the work that you love. So it could be like painting, creating art, tattooing, building custom skateboards, like your creating nail polish art, whatever. What's your thing? Your thing wants your attention. Your creativity wants to shine this month. Knight of Wands, inspiration, rushing towards you. And this is what Spirit is saying is, if you create the vacuum, if you courageously let something pass away, compost something in your life, nature abhors a vacuum. And it will fill the space. So if you are daring enough, brave enough to cut something out of your life that needs to go, like the Queen of Swords is always down to do, something beautiful is going to come in. And part of that might be inspiration and great new ideas, which could lead to this future, which is where the Eight of Pentacles sits. Growing your skills, building your projects, making more money, because as you grow your skills, your money grows. And there is somebody around you. Remember, you're the Queen of Swords, the truth teller. And here's this Queen of Pentacles. This is someone, again, remember, nothing to do with sex or gender. It's like, what type of person does this attitude evoke in your life? This is a very nurturing, down to earth type nurturing person. Like when you're sick, she's bringing the chicken soup. She's making sure you've got enough blankets. She's helping you balance your budget. She's helping you get organized. She likes to help with the earthly things. Like, let me get my hands in the dirt, literally and figuratively, and help you sort this out, build this up, grow this thing. Is this the partner? I'm curious. For some of you, Queen of Swords, it feels like this Queen of Pentacles is your partner. Heaven and earth, the sky and the earth, right? And when you put these together, even though they may not be what you consider to be typically, you know, we think of like air and fire and earth and water being things that blend well together, but heaven and earth, When we root a beautiful idea, we bring it to earth. We bring heaven to earth, right? So that's kind of an ideal situation, especially for you this month when you're doing some composting. So this Queen of Pentacles may be somebody who can come through and also help you compost, help you dig through and make use of the death, make use of the waste, right? Make use of what we learned, what we've been through, what we've let go of. Pro tip: as above, so below, Aries. If you're like, I don't know what I, mentally or emotionally or psychologically really need to compost, but you might have a closet full of stuff that you haven't touched in 5 years that you've been like, I really need to go through and get rid of some of that stuff. It's literally just taking up space. That's also the kind of stuff that Spirit is talking about. When you are willing to make that courageous decision to stop holding on to people, places, things that you don't use, that you don't need, that are maybe, again, served a past iteration of you, but not anymore, you create all this room to grow. And Spirit wants you to be growing into your power and into yourself always. Always, they want that. But this month is like a particularly fruitful, opportune time to do that. The key and conclusion of your reading: remember, you have good fortune, you have growth of your skills, growth of your confidence in yourself. And judgment is awakening, is commitment, is an understanding, a bell that can't be unrung, a sight that can't be unseen. I understand this now. I'm never going to forget it again. I get it. And I'm going to live differently because of it. Judgment is about going from being dead on your feet, the dead rise, because the angel comes and blows the horn and says, hey, everybody wake up, it's time for the new life. Well, Aries, it's Scorpio season. It's death and regeneration season. It's time to build your new life. I'm excited for you. I hope that this reading is helpful in building that new life, Aries. If you want to continue the conversation, or if you want to get a personal reading, or support the channel and get more videos and exclusive content, monthly call-in show, etc., all of the ways to do that are down below. Really? Right now, fire truck? Right now? Really hope everything's okay, actually, everybody. All right. Side note, thank you for being here, Aries. I hope it's helpful. And if I don't see you in one of the vlogs this month, then I hope I will see you in your December reading. Bye, Aries.